Apparently, we've overstayed our welcome.
Things didn't go so well here in Oregon.
We'll show you why on this episode of Roaming the Road.
We're 5 weeks into this trip and we've made it to Oregon's north coast. As we mentioned in our last episode, the calendar is now October and the weather has changed a lot. We'll be breaking this into 2 episodes because there is so much to see and do here near Astoria, Oregon. Our cousins Greg and Marianne and their dog Sadie have been accompanying us up the Oregon coast. You'll be seeing them along with us in this video. And we'll explain how we ended up in an Oregon jail a little later in this episode. Today, we'll check out 3 spots that really show off what this area has to offer. You've got military history, great views, and some movie magic, all within a short drive of each other.
Here's Johnny!
From Fort Stevens, we're headed up to Astoria to see the Column. The Astoria Column sits on top of Coxcomb Hill, and you can see it from pretty much anywhere in town. It's 125 feet tall and has been here since 1926. This is the Astoria Column, taller than any lighthouse that I remember being in, although maybe in Florida. It's 125 feet tall. We are going to climb up the Astoria Tower. Vincent Astor paid the major portion of the costs of building the column. He was John Jacob Astor's great-grandson. Astoria is named after John Jacob Astor, who started a fur trading business here. What makes the column special is the painted scenes that spiral around the outside. An Italian artist named Attilio Pusterla painted 14 different scenes from Oregon history, starting with the discovery of the Columbia River and going up through the railroad coming into town. You can walk around and see Lewis and Clark's expedition, pioneers on the Oregon Trail, early logging operations, and more of that kind of thing. The artwork is pretty detailed and tells the story of how this area was developed. This is the view of the Columbia River from the base, and then I will show you what it looks like 125 feet taller. Here we go. And I've got a paper airplane. Kind of like a lighthouse. Get your glider. If you want to get to the view, you've got to climb 164 steps up a narrow spiral staircase. It's a bit of a workout, but most people can handle it fine. There's small windows on the way up, so you can catch your breath and get a preview of what's waiting at the top. So this is like from maybe 1/4 of the way up. And we made it to the top. And the best thing is it's not a super windy day. So this is 125 feet taller. It seems more than that. You can buy a wooden glider at the bottom and throw it from the top. It's just a simple wooden airplane like the kind we had in the 60s, but they can fly pretty far with the wind up here.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Filming?
Yep.
Here we go.
Bye. Oh. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, there it is. And into the trees.
And into the trees.
I wonder how many are in those trees. Look at it go. Wow.
Told you.
Way better than we used to do it at home from our driveway.
It's a little bit higher too.
Okay, rolling. Yep. Whoa. Jamie's did a death spiral.
Nice.
It's going down the same way we came up. That's right.
with more ease.
And more
It's
grace.
more graceful.
There's another one in that bush right there. It's circling. Hey, right to the guy at the booth there. Hey, can you pick that up?
Okay, ready to see my glider go?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! Come over here and follow it. Whoa! So I'm on top of the Astoria Column, which has 164 steps, which we know that our calves are going to hurt later. And it's 125 feet tall, and it was built in 1926. We can see both the Columbia River, and we can see the bay, and we can see the mountains, and we can see the forest, and a high school's practicing, their band is practicing probably for tomorrow night's game. But it's pretty cool if you can make it up the 164 steps. The Astoria Megler Bridge goes across the Columbia to Washington State. On clear days, you can see some of the Cascade Peaks in the distance. Okay, we are going down the 164 steps now. Trying to be very careful with money.
You won't be disappointed. Yes.
So I was still great. Don't expect much.
If you just want to come out here to watch the ships go by, they have seating in various areas around the hill here. So out here at the Astoria Column, we are having a beautiful Thursday evening. The weather is warm. I'm overdressed in this thermal shirt. We've got a just beautiful day. There's not whitecaps out on the river or anything looking out over the Columbia River, but tomorrow it's supposed to start raining about midnight and not stop till tomorrow night. We won't have as pretty a day to be recording on, but we're going to check out Fort Stevens and all of the history that's there. We're camped at Fort Stevens State Park, where you can explore old military buildings and see one of Oregon's most famous shipwrecks. Fort Stevens covers about 4,300 acres, right where the Columbia River meets the Pacific Ocean. It's part state park, part history lesson, and part beach destination, all rolled into one. This place was a working military fort from the 1860s all the way through World War II. The fort is named after Isaac Stevens, who was the territorial governor back in the day. What's interesting is that this is the only place in the continental U.S. that actually got attacked during World War II. This is Fort Stevens, the military installation, which was initially built during the Civil War. But this base right here was actually fired at, which was the first U.S. military installation within the United States that took enemy fire from the sea. Well, they say from a warship. So this fort is still mostly here, and it was changed and modernized up until the 40s, and then it was decommissioned. In 1975, it became a state park here in Oregon. So this is what I'm looking at right now. So it's really very intact. When Fort Stevens was shelled from a Japanese submarine, they were told not to fire back. I mean, all the men scrambled to their stations and they were ready to fire back. The fort itself wasn't harmed. They didn't really land directly where the fort is. And there's lots of things to say, why didn't they fire back from here? And the thing that makes the most sense to me is that they decided that they didn't want to give their exact position away. And that's probably why the fort didn't get hit, because they didn't know exactly where it was. So that would be a really good reason not to fire back and just stay quiet. And then they don't know if they really were aiming in the right place or not. So evidently the guns here were equipped with radar, which was brand new. The only guns installed during World War II.
We have a great view from out here.
I see trees.
If you liked Oregon weather, then this was a good place to be stationed during World War II. Definitely you were fairly safe here compared to being overseas. And if the U.S. did get attacked, at least you'd be armed. Now you can see. So I just picked up this guide. You can get it where you check into camp, but also when you come here to check in at the visitor center. It lists all the information that you need for what you are looking at each of these sites. Quite a bit to see here. You can walk through the old gun batteries and see where soldiers lived and worked. The concrete bunkers and tunnels are kind of creepy, but still in good shape, and they're cleaning up more of it each year. Leaky, rusty and leaky. Did they ever take prisoners here? I wonder. I don't think I saw anything about that. Jamie's getting the gun ready to fire. They did practice up here, so some of the stuff was fired initially. Battery Russell had these huge guns that could actually disappear underground when they weren't being used. The visitor center houses a small museum with artifacts and stories, and the staff are enthusiastic and enjoy any and all questions.
Oh yeah, Spielberg movie. That's what this is about. They were talking about how the Japanese were bombing on the coast.
Okay, that one, yes, those are shoved in there more. You got it easy.
So we went inside the visitor center and we learned all about the fort here, when it was built, why it was built, and the attacks that came from Japan to the United States right off the coast here, aimed at this fort. The thing most people come to see is the Peter Iredale shipwreck. This ship ran aground in 1906, and parts of it are still sticking out of the sand today. The Peter Iredale was carrying wheat to Portland when fog and rough currents pushed it onto the beach. Everyone on board made it out safely, but the ship was stuck for good. What you can see of it changes depending on the season. Sometimes storms wash away sand and reveal more of the ship. Other times it gets buried deeper. It's been sitting here for over 100 years now. Dexter, come here. Come here. Dexter. The park has 9 miles of beach plus forests and lakes. It's a good spot whether you want to camp, hike, or just walk on the beach. We'll dig into the campground and all of this on our next episode.
Apparently, we've overstayed our welcome.
Things didn't go so well here in Oregon. So how did we end up in here? Well, it started when we drove up to the courthouse, and right next door is the old jail. So we're here to see the Oregon Film Museum, which is in the original county jail building. And a lot of the movies from the 80s and going all the way back in history were actually filmed right here in Astoria. So this houses a lot of information about that, but also all the films that have been shot in Oregon. The building was built in 1914 and served as the jail for over 60 years. They kept a lot of the original features here, the cells, the heavy doors, the barred windows. It's kind of interesting to see a jail turn into a museum. Some of the displays are actually set up in the old jail cells, which gives the place a unique and kind of creepy atmosphere. You can bring out the inner criminal in yourself and take mugshots. There's your Christmas photos.
Turn to the right.
So this is the screening room. So we got this thing, so we're gonna film. We're gonna film with this as we go around, and then we'll come in here at the end and watch what we filmed, and you can edit it too. Kindergarten Cop, Goonies, Free Willy. Oh, here you go, Jamie. Here's all your script stuff. The big draw here is the Goonies movie stuff. The whole movie was filmed in and around Astoria back in 1985, and it really put the town on the map for movie fans. They've got original props, costumes, and behind-the-scenes photos from the movie. There are interactive displays where you can test how much you know about some of your favorite movies that were filmed in the area. Where is this? Silver Falls State Park. Who runs the lights, the gaffers, but then you can go to the next one. So a lot of detail. The biggest part of the museum is the hands-on exhibits where you can try operating cameras or editing film clips. It gives you an idea of what goes into making movies. So this is the studio. There's 3 sets in here with plenty of monitors to see the scripts. Lighting is already set. Microphones are set.
You want to preview the lines?
Is it rolling?
We're going to film a scene.
Yeah.
Oh, we're supposed to say the lines?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
From Bandits. There's
It's from what?
different movies.
Bandits.
Okay.
You want to see what the, let's go back.
What are our choices of movies? Okay, so we're rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And action.
What the hell are we doing here?
Trust your dear old mother, boys. Throw her into 4-wheel drive and hold on to your hats.
Okay, we're excellent actors.
Wow, aren't we?
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
So we have shot 5 scenes with our set pass, and Greg still has 1 or 2.
1 or 2, yeah.
Before you leave, you can send the little films you made to your email. Here's some of our definitely not professional film clips that we made. This was really fun, and you'll have memories to keep for a lifetime.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not but a hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
We got to get out of here. We got to go. We got people chasing us. I don't want to end up in jail.
Well, you shouldn't have done what you did, so now we got to get back to Rosie and Dexter and get the hell out of here.
Well, I didn't think anyone would see.
Yeah, that's what you say all the time. You just do whatever and consequences later, and now I got to pick up the pieces. Great.
But all I did was pick up some driftwood in the park. I didn't
Yeah,
see the
you're
sign that you're
driftwood.
not allowed to.
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all. Yeah, he's bad acting. What can I do?
Be governor?
I can be governor.
When we left the museum, we drove to the nearby house used in the Goonies. The new owner, as of 2022, is a fan of the Goonies movie and purchased it hoping to preserve it. There's signs saying that you may walk up to it, but don't drive, and please pick up after yourself. And just around the corner from here is the school used for kindergarten cop. This was just 3 of the places we visited while staying near Astoria. Military history at Fort Stevens, great views from the Astoria Column, and movie history at the Oregon Film Museum. In our next travel episode, we'll bring you more of the area. Nearby is Fort Clatsop, which was the winter encampment for the Lewis and Clark expedition. Then, back to Astoria to go to the wonderful Columbia River Maritime Museum and a historical ride on the 112-year-old Astoria waterfront trolley. We'll also be taking you across the Astoria-Megler Bridge into Washington State. Our destination is Cape Disappointment, and we'll show you more about the campground and other activities at Fort Stevens State Park.
Hey roamers, we hope you enjoyed this episode and really appreciate it if you
share it with your friends and family. And if you're not yet a subscriber, make sure and hit that subscribe button.
And ring that bell because that way you'll be notified each time we upload a new video.
And make sure to leave a comment. That way you can be part of the conversation.
Until next time.
We'll see ya.
ya.
Bye.